Welcome to the Vint Wine Investment Podcast. We have our third episode here. We've got some big updates. Another collection is sold out. Your standard Wednesday activities. We've got some new SEC filings that we've gotten sent off to the Securities Exchange Commission, and a bit more to talk about, especially with regards to our upcoming collection. So to jump into a few of those, we had our Bordeaux en Primeur Futures collection last Wednesday. This was a $112,000 collection. First time Vint has broken the six figures dollar amount in terms of collection value. We had 1,600 shares, $70 a share. And that collection sold out in about 48 hours. So pretty happy with our biggest collection selling out. We heard good things from our investors. We are the first people to securitize and fractionalize wine futures, which is really cool. For those of you who might be a bit unfamiliar with futures and why they're interesting, is that these wines are still in barrel over in France. And once they are bottled, we receive our allocation. People have been investing through this mechanism over in Bordeaux for a long time. So we thought it was a great offering. We had a lot of new investors invest in this collection. And as always, we're continuing to grow. So that Bordeaux Futures collection wrapped up our last batch of collections that we had gotten qualified with the SEC, say about 2 or 3 months ago. Every 2 to 3 months, we file new paperwork with the SEC for a new batch of anywhere from 4 to 10 collections. And our most recent batch was filed last week. And in this batch, we've got bigger collections, new producers, and a really interesting batch of collections. So the first collection is a DRC, which Billy will be talking about later, but it is a $137,000 collection, but only $25 a share. To put into reference, some of these bottles are valued at over $20,000. So the fact that we can bring these to the public for $25 a share, we think is really, really interesting. We're hoping our PR agency could maybe generate some buzz about DRC $25. What? That's definitely not been heard of before in the wine market. Following DRC, we've got a Napa collection, a whole host of different producers from the Napa region. One thing we've been thinking about a lot recently is experiential investing. So we plan to tie a bit of a one-of-a-kind experience to this collection. So in addition to the $142,000 collection at $50 a share, we're going to have, we'll keep it secret for the time being, but an opportunity for people to experience these wines. Following that, we have a Rhone collection. We have a Piemonte collection. Both of those are in the $150,000 range, $40 a share and $50 a share. And then to wrap it up, we have a Japanese whiskey collection. It is the 36 Views of Mount Fuji. It is 36 bottles, and it is really a one-of-a-kind set. I have not seen this entire set of the 36 bottles available anywhere. And this is the biggest collection that we will have had at $187,000. $34 a share. And as always, we're growing. And just to, not going to speak too much on this, but be on the lookout. There might be a flash sale as well. But I'll keep my lips sealed for that one. That's what we've got planned. it should take us all the way through the end of the year. And with all those collections, we'll have over 1.5 million that's been invested on the platform. So always growing, new customers, collections getting bigger, really cool assets. And yeah, with that, I will turn it over to Billy to talk about DRC and this upcoming collection.
DRC. Where do we even begin with this? I guess we'll start with the name. DRC stands for Domaine de la Romanée-Conti. It is one of the most famous wine producers in the world. They produce some of the most expensive and sought after wines. Very hard to find, especially there's certain wine that's basically their eponymous name. The vineyard is also called Romanée-Conti. So Domaine de la Romanée-Conti, Romanée-Conti are wines made from that special vineyard that the company is also named after. Those wines are very rare due to the fact that that vineyard is only 4.32 acres large. So it really only produces between, a little under 450 cases a year. Our collection, the 2010 DRC Romanée-Conti actually only had 386 cases produced originally. So very small production, very high quality. The Domaine, DRC actually oversees many vineyards. Some of them they own, some of them they lease. But each one they employ their strict farming restrictions and guidelines to make sure that the fruit coming from all of the vineyards is up to their caliber and up to their quality. Our collection here, we have 5 bottles in a multi-pack from the 2016 vintage. This features wines from 4 different vineyards. The 4 are Romanée-Conti, one from that very special small vineyard. The other ones are we have 2 from Tâche, 1 from Romanée Saint-Vivant, and 1 from the Corton vineyard that Domaine Romanée-Conti oversees, de la Romanée-Conti. I will say that Romanée-Conti is by far the most famous vineyard, but a close second is Tâche. So it's exciting to have a mixed assortment with a little bit of both of those wines. The reason that these 4 different vineyards were featured in this collection is actually 2016 was a bit of a rough year in terms of frost at the beginning of the year. And there was also a heat wave in the middle of the year. So there's a few vineyards that the Domaine oversees that basically they produced very little or no wine that year. And so the wine that was produced is being held back and wasn't really ever released in any commercial way. The other part of our collection is 3 bottles of 2010 Domaine de la Romanée-Conti, Romanée-Conti. These 3 bottles alone are very expensive. They make up 66% of the collection cost. They're highly sought after. 2010 was an amazing year, kind of one of those benchmark years in Burgundy. The wines, were developed beautifully, and they are high on collectors' lists across the world. So basically, really diving into the nuances of this collection, in terms from an investment point of view, is DRC is the name that people know around the world for Burgundy. It's considered, the top tier. It is the top Burgundy sought after in Asia, which is interesting because Bordeaux is really still king on that continent. A couple other interesting pieces about this collection are, one, that Burgundy has been a really hot investment category as a whole, but the 2010 Romanée-Conti has actually been outperforming the Burgundy 150 index, which is Livex tracking of the Burgundy prices throughout the past 5 years. So that's really interesting. And yeah, it's just been a great year for Domaine de la Romanée-Conti across the board. All of the wines in our collection have seen growth over the past year in terms of their values. So we are really excited to be able to offer these great wines in this collection at only a $25 price point. So stay tuned, and we're excited to have this launch next Thursday. Not like our typical Wednesdays. It's going to be launching next Thursday at noon Eastern.
Awesome. To wrap up, We'll give you a bit of an update on the company. We'll have an investor relations individual starting in the next week or two, and we are continuing to improve the product as always. So, Eric, who you all met last week, he is actively talking to and getting feedback from our investors, account holders, anybody who's interested in the platform. If you think you have a good idea on how we can improve the platform, don't hesitate to shoot any of us an email. It's first name at vint.co. But yeah, very customer centric and want to build a platform with features that people request. So don't hesitate to let us know. And that is all. We'll be back next week with probably another collection sellout as they do, and more interesting information. Billy, you want me to read the thing now, or do you want to clip? I can read it.
Just read it just in case. I'll probably pull it up, but just read it just in case, and we'll just have it at the end here. It might be easier for me to clip for other ones if I just pause here for like 10 seconds and then you read, and then I'll have it set by itself.
As always, Vint and VV markets are offering securities pursuant to Regulation A. Our offering circular as amended can be found on the SEC website. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. Investments such as those on the Vint platform are speculative and involve substantial risks to consider before investing. We may provide communication that may contain certain forward-looking statements that are subject to various risks and uncertainties. And finally, the information provided in any communications is not legal, business, or tax advice. All prospective investors should consult a legal, tax, or business advisor concerning the subject matter of any communications and any offering. Thank you.